Hello and welcome to Plot Twisters.
This is a podcast where we take movies and twist the plot to see if we can make them better. And if not, dirtier.
At the moment, we're talking about teen movies from the 80s.
On this episode, Dirty Dancing from 1987.
I'm Emma, and where is my beige iridescent lipstick? I know I put it in this drawer.
I'm Anders, and I carried a watermelon.
Best line in the whole film.
Should we... Can we
Yeah.
please tell the people... Let's give the people what they want,
what
okay?
We did. Yeah.
So I watched this movie last night, and when we watch a movie, we pick a quote. Obviously, I chose "I carried a watermelon."
Yeah.
And then today, I'm guessing you were watching the movie, and you were putting in your quote. It was half.
She turns away. She comes in with a watermelon. Patrick Swayze comes up. He's all sweaty and sexy, and he says something. "What are you doing here?" And she goes, "I carried a watermelon." And then he goes away, and she goes, "I carried a watermelon." And I was like, there it is. That's it. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the introduction quote. And I went to my notes app to write it down. We have a shared note so we can each see what the other person wrote. And I started typing, "I carried a watermelon," and I saw you'd already written the exact same thing.
I beat you to it.
Yeah, which is not the first time that's happened.
What's fun about our quotes that we choose is like they're always very specific and often and probably rarely are they like the big...
Yeah, it's never the known quote.
Exactly.
I could have chosen "Hi, I'm Emma and nobody puts baby in a corner," but no, right.
Way too obvious.
I think we've also never. I don't know. I mean, I don't think we've ever specifically addressed the quote thing and why we do that and where it came. Well, we just do it. Like, do you think people have listened to this show and been like, why are they introducing themselves to these random statements?
I like to think that every time people become a new listener and new and forever loyal, obviously, listener of our podcast, it takes them 1 to 7 episodes before they fully understand what it is we're doing. And in the interim, they're thinking, I think I like this, but I also hate it, and
who are these idiots?
Who are these scumbags?
Are they movie experts? Are they do they do something to do with the 90s? Is that their job?
Right.
No.
Are they silly people? Do they subscribe to
professional
wacky,
comedians?
Quarterly? No. The answer is no. We're just regular, we're just normal people who like... That's our
selling point.
That's our thing. Hey, if you want comedy, if you want wacky people, go to the Upright Citizens Brigade, right? We're just down to the bottom, salt of the earth, railway car children, regular folk,
Yeah.
We put our feet, we put our socks on one sock at a time.
Yeah, we do.
And then the shoe, one shoe at a time.
And if the shoe fits,
wear it.
Wear it.
Keep walking, girl, because you look fabulous, And
those boots were made for walking, and that is just what they're going to do. I would like to say it was your idea, the quote thing.
It was my idea.
I remember that. Yeah, I want to give you credit for that.
Yeah.
The other thing that was your idea was the rating system thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like doing
Don't tell them how all the sausages.
Specific.
Don't tell them how all the sausage is made.
I'm saying a nice thing. I'm saying it was you.
I've
fine. I won't give you any compliments anymore. Then
no, I appreciate
everything else was me. I did all the rest of it.
I have the Midas touch. Things I touch turn to gold, and But I like to keep my head small because I don't want to get too excited. Hey, speaking of getting too excited, how excited are you about talk about Dirty Dancing?
Very. That would be a very excited.
Very .co.uk. I am also excited. I can't wait to hear what you thought about it, because this is the one. Okay.
I'm so intrigued.
This is the dance movie from the 80s. All the other dance movies are just imitating. Want the real dance movie from the 80s? Please stand up. It's Dirty Dancing. Am I wrong? Prove me wrong.
Interesting question. I don't know. I feel like I'd maybe go with Footloose.
Really?
being the one.
All right.
That's like my world perception,
Right,
and then your world perception is different. So interesting.
Yeah. We'll get to that. We need
another poll.
We'll
So
get
many
to
polls
that.
we need.
Watch our Instagram. Here comes a poll. But before that, I think it's your turn to give us the rundown.
Okay, I'm going to do the rundown now. Content warning, we're going to mention abortion because that features in this film. So, I may have a slightly flawed rundown because I have some very specific questions that I'd like to ask you in the next section of the podcast.
All
and
right.
I think some of them may become obvious based on my rundown.
Ooh, okay. Do you want to give us you could just give us a summary? Do you want to just give a summary? Summarize.
Summarize. There's a woman. She's 17. And her name is Baby. Legally, it's Frances Houseman, but she's known to her friends as Baby.
Yep.
She goes with her family to a summer vacation experience thing.
Right.
Whilst they're there, she falls in love with a dude called Johnny Castle. He is a dance guy, and he does dance classes. And basically, like... So he's an instructor of some kind at this summer experience thing. Yeah. And she then is there too with her family. And he has a friend who is pregnant.
She is with child, yes.
She's with child.
Yeah.
As a result of another guy who is also some sort of employee of this establishment.
Right. Yes, that's fact.
And then she wants to not be in that situation anymore. Baby finds out about this and gives her some money, which she takes from her dad.
Right.
This person, her name is Penny, I think. Was it Penny?
That sounds right.
She then gets into some trouble because of it, because it was a illegal kind of backdoor, whatever the word is, situation.
Dangerous,
so then
backdoor,
Baby,
freaking scary, non-medical
terrifying,
abortion.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing.
Baby then gets her dad to help out. Her dad's very upset with her and says, you shouldn't hang around these people anymore. I think he gets the idea that it's Johnny's is the father.
Yeah. That's my read.
So that's part of the reason why he gets so upset about it. They eventually find out that that's not the case. And then they have a dance at the end.
Yep. And they have the time of their life.
They have the time of their lives. It's basically one of those films, again, where there's lots of dancing in it. And I think the dancing is a little bit more... Like, the reason for it in this film is more apparent because they basically need to do the dance to cover up for the fact that Penny has gone away to have this abortion.
But it's not even that. Sorry. Well, sorry. It's not even that. Baby has to learn how to dance because of a scheduling conflict. Okay?
The thing is at this time, and you have to do a dance at this time.
I'm sorry, but that's only one day to get this very dangerous and, backdoor situation. So would so Baby has to learn how to dance. Why didn't they just go to another hospital? Oh, because it was the 60s. Because it was the 60s. Sorry. I remember. Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. I forgot. 1960s. Still, she learns how to dance because of a scheduling conflict. That's all I wanted to say. That's hilarious.
Yes. And so then there's some conflict because the parents don't approve of Johnny, and he gets fired from his job. And there's a thing about stealing wallets, and then they do a dance at the end, and they have the time of their lives.
They sure do.
So here is my first question.
Shoot.
What is this summer camp for adults, vacation, holiday, like cruise, not on a boat experience thing where there's like loads of different families there and there's dance teachers? What the hell? I have no idea what this is.
Interesting. So that's
also, side note, can I just say, sorry, before you answer my question?
Right.
I have seen this film before, and as I was watching it, I basically completely forgotten like the first third of the film.
Oh, right.
I forgot that that's where they were. I think I thought that
Yeah.
she was just at a summer camp or something, and I forgot her parents were there. So I was extremely confused. So yes, what is going on with this camp thing?
That's
What
so
is it?
for real.
I have no idea.
It's so funny. This is yet again something that I didn't even think about because it's like an American thing versus a British thing, I guess. You thought it was a summer camp. It's not a summer camp. It's a resort holiday. Do you know where this
Right.
movie is set? Did you get a sense of what state it's in?
An American one.
Ding ding ding! We have a wiener. Yeah, it's set in it's like in the Catskills Mountains. It's in New York.
I didn't know that there was something called the Catskills Mountains.
Yeah. So there you go.
Geography isn't really not my strong point. I can talk about feminism in movies for days, but I don't know where things are.
Your things are more interesting than geography, so that's fine. Here's the thing. In the 1950s and 60s, there became this really big thing, which was resort hotels and resort sort of, places in, amongst other places, upstate New York, right? And around sort of Lake George and even up into Vermont around Lake Champlain, but definitely in upstate New York, Poughkeepsie, and that kind of area. There were these like cool, like big hotels that were also on a lake or had like a big pool and stuff, and people would come up from New York City and New Jersey, I guess, for a couple of weeks of a summer vacation in a really sort of, I don't know, old school, sort of like people wore suit and ties to dinner, Catskills Mountains comedians doing like ventriloquism and like old school sort of shtick that would also offer like dances and and comedy nights and like water skiing and crafts and stuff for the families and kids. It was like summer camp but for the whole family. And as a result, littered around sort of upstate New York are all these really cool, really kitschy old hotels and restaurants and stuff that are now completely out of their time because people don't do that anymore because people, jet off to, the Cayman Islands or whatever. But in the, I think post-war especially, through the sort of boomer time, you would go on these vacations up to upstate New York. I've been to the Catskills. I've been to these places. I've seen these big hotels. It's so it's so awesome and very nostalgic now. Do you know that like those scenes when they were doing the dance classes in that sort of pagoda outside of the beautiful views of the lake behind you, right?
Yeah.
Do you know how much money I would pay to go and do that? Go back
Oh my
in time?
god, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Wear a cummerbund and like go to like a steak dinner or like a veggie steak dinner up in the Catskills. Shoot, dang it, I'd love that.
It sounds great. We're in a horrible new era of life.
Yeah.
We're all very separate,
Yeah.
and there's a loneliness epidemic and stuff. Why not set up these weird holiday camps where people go and they go every year and they see all the same people again and they do classes? I love that.
Well, I will say, I feel like to a lesser and not cooler extent. A lesser extent? Yeah, fine, I stand by it. To a lesser extent, there are things here in the UK. So, for example, Butlins.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right? Center parks.
Yeah.
Okay?
Haven holidays.
That's what this is. But it was the 1960s, so it was really cool and kitsch and fun.
I see.
But that's what it is. It's yeah. It's center parks.
Right. See, I've never done that.
Me neither.
No. That's what I'm missing.
No. It's
okay.
Families go and there's activities that are pre-planned so that everybody can get really drunk and it's fine because like there's an itinerary,
I do love an itinerary.
So do I. Step 1, 6 a.m. sunrise. 6:15 coffee.
Family walk.
6:30 breakfast. 6:35 family walk.
Yeah, 6:45 10 minutes scheduled silence.
Right. 6:46 everybody holds hands and tells each other how they feel about each other.
Yeah.
Which is hopefully love.
Communication time. Yeah, I love that.
Yep. 7 a.m., go back to bed. You got up too early. You burn.
That was it. Yeah.
Yep, you burn. Yeah, burn. So that's your first question. What else? What else?
Okay. Okay. I have a few questions. Okay. So thank you for clarifying that. I did not have a clue what was going on. So my next question is less of a practicality about the film, and it's more of a conceptual screenwriting question. Who is Baby?
Interesting question.
Thank you.
It's hard. It's hard for me to say because to me, Baby is Ferris Bueller's sister.
Of course.
Who happens to love to dance, apparently.
Yeah.
In my read of her, and this is not based on cultural clues, because I've never met the character, proto Baby, if you will. I've never met the origin Baby. I didn't go to school with Baby. I don't understand Baby as a cultural, entity. Or do I?
Ooh.
Because here's what I think. Baby is the underappreciated younger sister, right?
Yes.
Because her older sister is the hot one or whatever. Yeah. So we know that character. We also know that Baby is the slightly almost about to be rebellious one who disagrees with her family and wants to go work for Amnesty International or something. What does she want to go do? Save kids and
like Greenpeace. No,
or whatever.
Was it?
It's not that.
The Greenpeace. What's it called?
The Supreme Court. No,
the
something Corp. Something Corp.
Peace Corps.
She's gonna go work for the Peace Corps, right? So she's the
the Supreme Court.
She's gonna go work for the Supreme Court. Okay.
Mommy, Daddy, this is my dream. I want to go work for the Supreme Court.
I want to go work for the Supreme Court and weigh in on, issues that affect us all. The point is, I think she's like the underseen, underappreciated baby sister who happens to have strong worldviews, some daddy issues, and most importantly, a desire to dance. So to answer your question, I don't know who Baby is. She's not a regular character. She's no Freddie Prinze Jr., right? I'm comfortable. If I meet Freddie, if I see someone in a high school movie and I'm like, oh, you're wearing a Letterman's jacket. You're the cool guy. You play sports. I don't need to know your backstory. Baby shows up and she's like, I'm carrying a watermelon. I want to work for the Peace Corps. And also I feel like I want to dance. I don't know where you're coming from. So I'm confused.
Yeah. I would agree with all of that. I felt the same. I was like, who are you?
Who are you?
I feel like the only kind of thing that the only cultural comparator I could root it in is the somewhat stereotypical viewpoint of the young adult feminist heroine who falls in love with a dude and her only really defining trait is that she's in love with this dude.
Yeah.
And they're quite bland people so that young people can do a self-insert and imagine themselves. It's you don't give your character too many characteristics so that whoever's reading it can feel like it's them because they're too generic. So it kind of felt like that to me.
Yeah. You're a blank. You can join into whoever. I did kind of feel like she was slightly that thing where she's a teenager who goes on holiday and tries to reinvent herself.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that episode of The Simpsons? Summer of 4 Foot Tall, where they go to the beach and Lisa's like, I don't have any friends, and then she meets some friends and she's like whatever, right? And she's trying to reinvent herself.
She had cool. round glasses on and a backwards hat.
Hat,
I do remember.
Right?
Yeah.
I think every summer camp story includes a story of a kid who tries to fit in and be cool, and in this one, Baby runs away to hang out with the staff. Didn't it also remind you of a little bit of Titanic? A little bit. Do you know what I mean? Where Baby is the fancy lady with the big rock. And Patrick Swayze is Leo DiCaprio dancing with all the people in the steerage.
Yes.
Because there's
a class
thing,
element.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're all why are you here? And she's like, I told you, I brought the watermelon. They're like, no, go back to your fancy classes. We're the workers. We love to dance erotically, right? Big time. Our
Big
shift
time.
is over, and we're just doing.
We're just gonna go get absolutely filthy in this.
Grinding.
Oh
up in
my
this place.
god!
So much. It's the 1960s. Remember, it's the 1960s.
Can you?
Like,
sorry, this is very inappropriate. But can you imagine wanting to do that after a shift at work?
oh my god, it's been so. I'm exhausted. Work has been. I'll be honest. This was a nightmare shift. Everyone's asking me for prawn cocktails. The chaise lounges out at the lake wouldn't fold properly. I'm exhausted, and now you want to do.
And I'm wearing the same clothes that I was for my whole shift.
Exactly. And you would like to grind up upon me for 7 hours? No, thank you.
No,
right?
thank you.
Where's a quiet corner where I can just veg out and sort of like stream Netflix for 2 hours, you know? Or whatever they had in the 60s. Probably not Netflix. Maybe like,
books.
At the exact books, and maybe like 2 episodes of I Love Lucy, whilst you just really wind down and hope that you don't have cholera. No. Some sort of a disease from the 60s.
60s disease. Maybe that's the thing, though. Maybe if we didn't have TV and
disco fever,
phones and stuff, we'd all be like...
That was the 70s.
Yeah. We didn't have phones. We'd all be like, dancing all the time because of all the energy that is being...
What you're saying is if we didn't have smartphones, everybody'd be grinding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why go on grind? Why would you... Why... When you
got
can't
it.
go on
you
Grindr...
got it. Grind.
Go and grind.
Go
I don't
and
know.
grind. Hey, if you can't go on Grindr, grind Patrick. Grind her.
Grinder. Get it?
Get it? Yep. Do you get my joke?
All right.
Do you get my
it?
joke?
Are you ready for the next question?
I was born ready.
Do you think the dad is a good guy?
Ooh, interesting question, right? Because
You're
welcome. You're welcome. At first, remember they were like, they had the dynamic of like the daughter and the dad from Say Anything, right? Where the daughter was like,
it is the dad from Say
right?
Anything.
I can say whatever I want to you.
So
We have such honest communication and everything's great and I love you. And the dad's like, oh, you can tell me anything and I won't judge you, right? But then later, he super judges her.
Yes.
And is like, oh, remember earlier when I was that cool dad? Psych! We're not cool anymore because you're dating a bad guy. Because you're dating a bad guy who made a lady pregnant and also stole wallets. And he didn't do either of those things. Right?
And
All we wanna do
maybe
is dance.
that class thing as well. The staff, baby! Dating the staff!
Can you imagine? It's going to be born and it's going to have a sponge in its hand and like a low paycheck. Here's the thing. On the other hand, the dad's like, baby comes to dad and is like, Dad, we got a problem. This bad abortion happened. And he's like, I'll get my bag. And he fixes it. He fixes it medically. And then he walks away and he's just like, all right.
Gah.
Right? So he goes, I'm just going to go to bed. Everything's fine. I'm a doctor, right? So is he a good guy? I don't know, right? What's that thing about math? -2 plus +2 equals no 2s. The one takes away from the other one, and they hold hands, and then they walk down the boulevard of math. And so I think maybe he's a guy. Take away the good. What do you think? You think he's a good guy?
I think it's a grey area, but I'm kind of erring on the side of yes. And I'll tell you for why.
Tell me for why.
So I think it's an interesting family dynamic with the mum and the dad and baby and her sister. And I think it's you often see families depicted in films where one of the kids is closer to one parent than the other. Even if they're not necessarily closer, they have a development arc with one of the parents more than they do with the other one.
Sure.
And it's really common for it to be dads and daughters and mothers and sons, I think. In this, it's like the mum's kind of not really doing anything.
Nope, just chilling.
And I'm sure there's psychological evidence as to that being more normal anyway, but it's probably also just a time-saving thing because you can't really explore a developed relationship with both parents
both
in a
of
short
them.
film
This isn't the
and other stuff going on. Yeah, I kind of saw that relationship as demonstrating the larger story arc, but kind of focused into that relationship quite specifically, and like Baby's development throughout the film, which I actually did think was quite good compared to some of the other dance movies we've seen.
I know, right? That's why I'm saying it's the best dance movie. Can I just jump right in there and tell you, just for fun, take it or leave it, Emma, and also the world. But we have, because we're in the 80s, we've watched now the holy trinity of dance movies from the 80s, right? Your Dirty Dancing, your Footloose, and your Flashdance.
Yeah.
And for my money, this movie made the most sense from a, why is this
Absolutely.
a movie that people like about dancing, right?
100%.
They go to the Catskills. Baby likes to dance. She meets sexy Patrick Swayze, who goes, "Oh, I love to dance. Do you want to dance with me?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure. Oh, no. My friend's got prego and we can't do the dance. Maybe you could do it with me." Cue more dancing. I love it. Lots of dancing. Then they do the dance thing, and also some wallets are stolen, but then they fall in love, and so they dance even more. It's a movie about two people who love dancing and fall in love dancing.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Well, then I think there is this core development within Baby as well, even though I don't really know fully who she is. She goes from, I think, being somebody whose character is quite rooted in, I guess you could say, preconceptions and judgments. Like, she kind of seems to me, she's introduced as someone who's very concerned with joining the Peace Corps and political issues and stuff. That's kind of not really discussed in
at all,
the movie,
ever.
That's how she's introduced. And she's part of this world, which there's clearly this class dynamic of, and it's sort of synthesized into the staff and the guests, right? But she's obviously of a slightly higher class. You know, we know her dad is a doctor. And I think, but you also see it in the sense that the way that she views the gorgeous people around us and the dancers, she assumes that Patrick Swayze and his dancing partner are in a relationship, which they aren't, but she also seems to think of them all as different and better and more interesting than she is. That's what I read anyway. Sure. Like they seem very other to her, but over time she actually becomes a lot more confident, she becomes a lot more secure, and she becomes more able to stand up for herself. So that very crucial moment of her standing up for Johnny and saying no, it wasn't him, it's almost like her finding her voice a little bit and turning her preconceptions and her way of viewing the world into action. And I think that that's echoed with a relationship with the dad, because with the thing with the dad is that he too, I think, is a good guy and he's a good dad and he has a good relationship with his daughters, and he is very willing to help her when she comes and asks him for money, even though she doesn't say why. But there's this sort of hiccup when he makes this misconception about the situation with the pregnancy and the situation with, you know, what's going on with these people. But he kind of, by the end of it, actually realizes that he should trust his daughter more, I think. It's not hugely explicit, but it feels like that's the thread to me. That's what I kind of fished out of it anyway. It's like people turning opinions into feelings and actions and justice, and Baby using her journey with dance to kind of stand up for herself a bit and unlock her passion a little bit.
Love it.
And I think that is a bit what's missing in
the other ones.
A little bit.
Yeah, that, and I mean the only thing that was missing from this movie was legally binding laws about whether or not you're allowed to dance. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Final question.
All right.
You've already answered it.
Yeah.
Do you think this is better or worse than Flashdance?
It's so much better. There's no contest. This is the gold standard. The other are like gold foil. Fool's gold, if you will. Right? This is better.
Good.
Good, fine. Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Good, fine.
Fine.
All right. We need to twist this movie in a second to make it even better, but can I just air a little bit like, I got a beef with this movie, okay? And I liked it, but I got a beef with it. And just don't want to throw it out there. And I also...
Throw that beef.
All right, here comes the beef, right? Where's the beef? It's in my hand. Here it comes. Where's it going? Nobody knows. It's flying. Hey, everybody, this movie was set in 1962 or something, right?
3.
All right. 63.
I only say that because I have it up on my screen.
So this movie's set in 1963. I like that it's about teenagers because guess what? The 60s invented teenagers. Fact. Google it. Before that, they didn't exist because it was like the war and then the post-war, and all of a sudden, teenagers.
I think I know what you're about to say.
No, you don't. Well,
Okay.
maybe you do. I also quite like the fact that, like, remember when the guy who owns that, like, resort's like, stuff changing, right? People don't want to come to our resort anymore. Yeah, dude, because your thing is stuck in the 50s and it's the 60s. And I really like thinking about how, like, between this year, 63, and, like, modern day, how fast everything changes, so fast, and it's fascinating. And if we had more time, or we were doing a different podcast, I'd like to start talking about the Beatles, and I'd like to start talking about the 60s and how everything changed. We don't have time for that, and that's not what I want to talk about. My beef with this movie is as follows. It's set in 1963. They're dancing. It's 1963. The music they're dancing to is music from the 1960s or earlier. That's all fine. Love it. Great. Until the end, when they start dancing to a song that is so 1980s, it is insane. Okay? Hey, guys, they didn't have synthesizers like that in 1963. And if you tell me that Time of My Life is in any way audibly linked to the early 1960s, and if you can convince me, I will eat my 1960s fedora, because it's absolutely innocuous. What's that word when a thing is out of its time? Like, would you see?
Incongruous.
It's incongruous. Somebody's wearing a flippin' Casio watch in the friggin' medieval times. All right.
So yes, they also play Hungry Eyes,
which is also not from
Best
the
bang ever.
60s.
But Hungry Eyes is non-diegetic, so it's
What?
It's
sorry, not to sound too much like Tim the Toolman Taylor, but Wilson, what do you mean?
So if it's diegetic, it occurs within the context of the story. So if it's non-diegetic, it's not. The characters aren't hearing it, is I guess the way you could say it. So when they play Hungry Eyes, it's over a montage. So it could be that the characters are dancing to different music, if that makes sense.
Right.
But we, as the audience, are hearing
because it's not diabetic. I get it. Yep.
Sure, but now I've had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
Right.
That is in it because they sing along to it. So
he mouths the lyrics in what is also the weirdest scene of all time. So what do we to do with this? Unless Patrick Swayze's character is none other than Marty McFly traveling back in time and playing Johnny Be Good before its time. Something is not right with the space-time continuum. Okay?
Not again. Not again.
I'm
not again.
Not again.
We're not doing this.
All right. Hey, again. You know that new sound you've been looking for?
Not again.
Listen to this. I've had the time of my life. I owe it all to you.
If you've had the time of your life listening to this podcast episode, why not leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts? Just find our podcast, scroll down, and hit as many stars as you think this podcast deserves. 5. Hit 5.
Bum, 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 bum.
I've never seen Home Improvement. Actually, that's not true. I think I have seen it.
You should. It's great. It's absolutely great.
He's a tall man, and he has arguments with his wife, and then he goes and speaks to the neighbor, right?
Yeah, Wilson, the neighbor, who you
Wilson.
only ever see the top half of his head.
Do you want to know a really, really fun nerdy fact that I know about
sure.
the TV show Home Improvement?
Yeah.
The writers basically said, and I can't remember the name of the person, which is this is the problem. I have a really good approximate memory. I can remember most things just about like 75%, but then I'll forget a really crucial detail.
Right.
The advice that the neighbor gives to Tim the Tallman Taylor is all based on a book by an actual psychologist.
Great.
About like having healthy relationships, and like I said,
Great.
I can't remember her name, unfortunately.
You should watch this show. It's so good.
But how fun is that to have just like a fun airy fairy show, and then it's like there is actual psychological evidence behind what the neighbor is saying.
I love that so much. And also in several episodes, because his name is Wilson, the actual Beach Boys come to visit because in canon he's related to the Wilson brothers, Brian, Dennis, and Carl. Isn't that fun?
That is fun.
In the 1980s, right? In the 1990s, as a kid, it was common for me to be watching television programs, and the Beach Boys just showed up. They came to Full House, and they came to Home Improvement, and that was just the way it was, right? And I'm not saying that, mine was the better generation, but, #blessed. Am I right? What are we going to do? What are we going to flip and
Everything
do
is
here?
equally terrible for all generations, by the way. I just want to say that. That's been my opinion for a long time. Everyone's all like, oh, it's better to do this. Everything's equally bad for all of us. What are we going to do? I think...
Let's rapid fire this one, all right?
Okay.
Let's do this
thing. Okay. It's the same, but it's in Butlins.
It's... All right.
In the UK.
All right. It's the same, but it's set in present day, and nobody goes to the dance instructors because, there's a really good show on Netflix. So, like, nobody signs up for the corny dance classes, and he just, chills.
It's the same, but it's set in the 1860s.
Really formal medieval dancing, right?
Medieval 1860s.
No, time kind of blends. So one era,
it's set in the 1060s.
Good day. I've got the black lung, but I've also come to do the cha-cha.
And the Battle of Hastings is happening in 6 years. It's this. There was 1066.
1066, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, the Bayeux Tapestry, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know how I know that, and how every other British person remembers that the Battle of Hastings?
Because you remember the Canterbury Tales or whatever.
No, it's because there used to be an advert for, I think it was like Hastings Insurance or something, and the phone number was 0800 00 1066.
Nice. I once went to Bayeux and saw the dang tapestry in France.
Oh my god, same.
I know.
I've done that too.
It's so good. And there's like,
really good.
And
it's can I tell you something?
Yeah.
It's really long.
It's like really freaking long. Hey everybody, you're thinking of a tapestry. Oh, how big is it? Covers one wall.
How long?
You're wrong. It's so long. It takes. This is a tapestry that fills multiple rooms for real, right?
Yeah.
And at one point you're like, hey, what's that comet? Oh, it's Halley's Comet. That was a real thing that happened. They just stitched that shit right into the stuff,
and you gotta walk around at like, this was okay. Sorry, we need to talk about this experience for a minute, right? Yeah. Okay, so first of all, so I have
it's like gonna create a different twist. Sorry, keep going. Yep, keep going.
The twist is me telling you about my experience with seeing the Bayeux Tapestry. So I have like very bad audio distraction, so I can't do some things. And one of those things is, when you have like you go to a museum and they give you like a thing to listen to whilst you're going around.
Sure.
I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. So I had to have a printed out copy.
Come on, man.
So what you do is you listen to a thing and you walk around and it tells you about it as you're going. But I didn't have that. I had the book thing, and it was really dark in there. Yeah. So I didn't book in the dark. I kept losing my place and going, wait, was this bit? Because it's timed, I think, so that it says it exactly as if you walk around at the right
words
pace.
Move on the book.
So I'm there, like, and also everyone was walking around at this really slow, like awkward. You know the museum walk,
Yeah,
where people kind of shuffle,
the old
like they do in a
museum
queue.
shuffle.
Yeah, and everyone was doing that, and I'm there, like, desperately trying to read this book and figure out where I am, and like holding it up against the tapestry so that the light, because it's very dark and the light, and I was trying to read. It was really stressful.
Mate,
and then at the end, everyone's like, "Wow, it's amazing." I was like,
I'm
trying to read about
stressed.
the
I just stress read in the dark, right? Yeah. That's disappointing. Do you want to? Is it too? Okay, here's what I'm thinking. No matter what we do, I want to propose to you. This is an elevator pitch, if you will. Okay. For a new interactive, well, new with an asterisk, interactive media concept.
So you watch Dirty Dancing and you're grinding as you're watching it.
Oh yeah, you're.
Oh
grinding.
my goodness.
Oh yeah. And then, but that's just, you're just getting started, okay? Everybody's doing, because people make movies these days, and by people, I mean those fat cats in Hollywood, right?
Hollyweird, am I right?
Hollyweird, right? Way. Everybody's thinking about film. Everybody's thinking about streaming or in person or digital download of a film, okay?
Video on demand, baby.
VOD. Guess what? That might help your DVD sales, but it's not going to help you move the art form of film forward, okay? And I think we need to move forward by thinking in the past. So my proposal for this movie is this. It's Dirty Dancing, but it's not a movie, it's a tapestry.
I hate you.
Listen, no. Let me tell you this, all right? Kanye West himself just released his newest album, and it's on STEM. And in order to listen to it, you have to buy a STEM player, okay? I propose that we make a remake of Dirty Dancing, and if you want to see it, you have to go to a dang museum.
How good are you at sewing?
I'm not good at sewing, but I'm great at outsourcing. Okay?
And good at delegation.
We hire the best sewers in the world. And I'm not just talking textile workers. I'm talking designers like Christian Siriano himself. Okay?
I'm sorry, I actually love this.
I know you do.
It's tapestry, but it's the whole plot of the film Dirty Dancing.
It's the whole movie of Dirty Dancing.
This is amazing. This is really good. It's really good.
And you're walking through this museum in different rooms, just like the Bayeux Tapestry. And it's linear for a bit, but then you walk into that grinding scene, and it's the whole room is just wall to wall, uncomfortably close-up grinding tapestry to help you feel it, and there's electronic dance music. I know it's the 60s, but I don't care. Grinding as you go, right? And then the next scene is like a bit traditional, and there's baby. And guess what? The tapestry goes around the corner, and it is in the corner. That's the joke.
Yeah.
What else do you think this tapestry would do?
It's really bewildering me.
Have I stumped you? Have I brought you to...
You scrambled my brain.
Look, here's the thing. We take the storyline, we tweak it.
Sorry, I have a really important question, which is more important than whatever you're about to say.
Fantastic.
Is each step of the dance routine sewed out in a frame?
Yeah, obviously. You know that thing where they're like, a left and two and one and two or whatever, and you're learning the thing? You walk into one room, and that room is to teach you how to do the dance from Dirty Dancing, and the tapestry is stitched to the carpet on the floor. And you know what? Sometimes you go to a museum and you're like, all right, statue, painting, whatever, I get it. I'm going to walk through this room, no problem. I'm just going to breeze through this. Some people go slow, some people go fast in museums. In this museum, you have to do the steps. You can't stop. And you might be like, I don't really feel that. I don't want to go back. And then there's a guard with guns who goes, you're in the dance part now. You signed a waiver when you bought your ticket to the museum that you will learn these dance steps. I know it was in the fine print. Oh, you were excited about seeing the Dirty Dancing tapestry. Maybe you didn't see it. Oh, I'm so excited. Guess what? It's legally binding. Do the steps. and the guards have. You remember when Patrick Swayze puts his like big sweaty hands on baby's hips and guides her through the moves?
Oh God, that bit made me feel quite weird.
So here's the thing: you will feel quite weird because the guards all have giant foam hands on sticks. And they bring them into to everybody's hips, and they guide you through it to give you the sensory experience of being manhandled by.
So you don't get partnered up at the start of the experience.
No.
No.
Everyone is baby. When you walk into the museum,
you're all baby.
I am baby. You are baby. We are baby, and it says it in big letters. I am baby, right? And so everything she did, you do. Everything she felt, you feel.
You feel.
Everything that touched her. Touches you. Am I right?
I just Googled two things.
Right.
The first thing was movie tapestries to see if anyone's done this, made actual tapestries of movies.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it's just like a big like fabric poster, and it's like like a movie poster. It's very
boring.
Boring. More like a wall hanging, right?
Anyone can do that.
The second thing I Googled was how many frames on average a 90-minute movie would have.
Okay.
So obviously most films are shot at 24 frames per second.
As you do. 24 FPS.
So that means there'd be 1,440 frames per minute of film. So an average 90-minute movie has 129,600 frames.
Okay.
So let's say, but I don't know the specific dimensions. You know what? No, I do know the specific dimensions of the Bayeux Tapestry because I actually have the internet in front of me. Dimensions.
It's so big. It filled
Bayeux
like 4 or 5 rooms, probably. But also, while you figure that out, can you imagine? I went and saw, hey, did you see the Bayeux Tapestry? Yeah, I did. Hey, did you see Dirty Dancing Tapestry? I did. I just went and saw Dirty Dancing. What, the movie? No, the Tapestry.
No, the Tapestry.
Wow. What was it like?
Okay. Long, really long.
Really long.
The Bayeux Tapestry is 49.5 centimeters in height.
But they stretch it out lengthwise.
So, well, here's what I'm saying, right? So let's imagine that we're putting these frames, each frame of the movie Dirty Dancing, in tapestry at a similar size to, let's say it's a square frame. I know, obviously, it wouldn't be a square frame, but let's say it's square just for the purposes of the exercise.
Fine.
So I'm going to say that it's 49.5 centimeters by 49.5 centimeters, and then if we times 49.5 by
this is what our twists have been missing. Math
is so that comes out at an average length of 6,400,000. Wait, I can't read that. It's too long. Wait, I need to convert this. To so that's centimeters to meters. So this is gonna be.
I feel the distance between you and I. Hungry eyes.
So that's 64,152 meters long.
Wait. Americanize that for me. How many miles are we talking?
Miles? Oh, geez. Okay, right. Put it back into there.
Because, that sounds long, but, I've walked longer distances to get, a loaf of bread, probably. So, if it's a compelling story, the audience will...
That's 39.8 miles long.
So it's like a double... It's an ultra marathon. All right. Okay. I can work with that. Dirty Dancing. I present to you the brand new reboot of Dirty Dancing. It's not a film. It's a full-on tapestry experience / ultra marathon. Yeah. You run, you look, you dance, you feel, you experience Dirty Dancing in a whole new physical medium. We haven't
a flip book, but sewn.
It's like life is a flip book.
Just one long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we have, as I mentioned, drawn in famous textile and designer Christian Siriano, who has created 39 miles of woven tapestry. to tell the story. Don't. It's really happening. The world's most elite runners have gathered to both compete and experience a metaphysical and physical retelling of the 1980s classic.
Why did we start talking about the Bayeux Tapestry?
I don't know, and I'll never know. I'll never look back, and I don't want to know. But look, we've done.
Do you ever worry sometimes when we're doing a twist? We start going down a particular route, and you're like, it's too late to go back now. We've got to. No,
I don't worry about anything.
You love it every time. So do I.
Because when somebody says Bayeux Tapestry, I think that's an idea for a movie, okay? Because in truth, right, much like the film Muppets Christmas Carol, right? Love is all around us, okay, right?
Yeah.
All you have to do is feel it, hear it, and just imagine it, right?
That completes our holy trinity of movies. Talking about the Muppets Christmas Carol, talking about She's All That, and talking about Back to the Future, all in one episode.
Yep.
That is our official plot twisters holy trinity of movies to mention. We just didn't talk about Twilight. Oh no, I've done it, so it's fine. Okay, so
Team Edward.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's cool to like Twilight again, by the way.
Yeah.
It's coming back into fashion.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, because Robert Pattinson is doing Batman. He's all cool and was like, hey, maybe Twilight was good.
Yeah, but you know what will
soon.
never be cool? Liking a dirty, stinking wolf, am I right?
We'll see. Wait till you watch it. I mean...
He might be sexy also. It turns out a lot of people are sexy.
Oh, boy.
And you never know your things until... You never know your quirks until you know...
I'm so excited. I'm gonna have to be in the room when you watch it because it's so exciting.
I can't wait. But I will wait. Not for now.
Yeah.
Not for now.
I can't believe we twisted this film, made it into a tapestry. Anyway... It's time to rate the movie, Dirty Dancing. And today, we will be rating this film on a scale of 1 to 5 watermelons, obviously. How many watermelons would you rate the film, Dirty Dancing?
Against my better judgment, I'm going to give this movie 3.5 watermelons.
Ooh.
Okay? And here's why. It's kind of weird. It wasn't that great. And I didn't super love the fact that some of the music was from the 60s and some was from the 80s. Having said all of that, the dancing was good. Patrick Swayze was sexy. And then, like, at the end of the day, like, this one made sense to me. I get it. I understand why people like this movie. Okay? I get it. And guess what? Biggest spoiler of all? I'd watch it again. No way. Yeah, I'd watch it again. Whatever. It was fun. 3.5. The end. What about you?
4.
What? Yeah.
You know why?
Because you love it.
Hungry eyes. One look at you and I cannot discard. Hungry eyes. I feel the magic between you and I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. I get it. And, you know, baby will never be in the corner because she's out there doing the tango and doing the mambo and doing the cha-cha? I forget.
Yeah. I don't know.
Flipping doing it.
Dances.
Yep.
Well, there's another week. We've watched a movie. We've talked about it. We've made up some garbage.
Not garbage. Great ideas.
And, great ideas. Bring back tapestries of films.
I mean
bring back
real,
tapestries.
Right? What, Bayou and then nothing? Come on,
What's
people.
this on my wall? Oh, it's a minimalist movie poster. Oh, how original. Oh, it's a record of it's one of my favorite records and it's framed. Oh, so original. Who am I? Everyone? Do you know what I mean? Oh, come to my house.
Oh,
what's that on your
over.
wall? It's a friggin' tapestry of an event. You want to know about the event? Look at the tapestry to start to finish.
Do you know who would direct our tapestry movie?
Who?
Grayson Perry. Fact.
Yes.
They They work in tapestries. Relevant. Google them. You know what I'm talking about. We're awesome.
Yeah.
We're on the forefront of the art revolution. We're children of the revolution. All right?
Yeah.
You know? Or we're just people who, got caught up on one thing and really doubled down on that thing, because that is very much our thing.
It sure is.
Hey, do you hear that sound? That's the sound of the last train from Poughkeepsie. We got to get out of the Catskills, you know what I'm saying?
You're right, the summer's over. We've had all our dance lessons, we've done all of our gambling, and we've won the talent show yet again. And now it's time to go back to reality and back to life.
Back to life. Back to reality.
If you want to stay in fantasy for a little bit longer, listeners, why not follow us on our social media? There's more of our nonsense on there. At Plot Twisters Pod. Thank you very much. And also, thanks for listening to this episode of Plot Twisters.
We'd love it if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, but, only if you got the time.
And we will see you next time.
Bye. Bye.
With these hungry eyes, oh, look at you and I can't disguise. I've got hungry eyes. I feel the magic between you and I. Yes!
I'm not good at sewing, but I'm great at outsourcing.